Welcome to the Washington Stand News Brief. I'm Casey Harper bringing you today's top stories. The nation is on high alert after a U.S. F-35C jet shot down an Iranian drone. Now that drone was aggressively approaching the U.S.S. Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea. Shortly after that, in the Strait of Hormuz, Iranian forces attempted to board a U.S.-flagged civilian tanker, but it was able to escape and come under the protection of a U.S. Navy warship. Things are heating up. Now, this is the latest escalation as the U.S. could be on the verge of war with Iran. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he hopes Iran will make a deal on its nuclear program, but he has sent a large, quote, armada of ships to the region. President Trump has suggested he will strike Iran if a deal is not reached. Now, that armada also comes as the Iranian government reportedly killed tens of thousands of its protesters. Now, meanwhile, back in the U.S., it appears the partial government shutdown is over. House Speaker Mike Johnson was able to wrangle the votes in a vote earlier today to fund the government and temporarily fund the Department of Homeland Security.
It's like Groundhog Day in a way, the bad movie, where we come back to the same failed measures of the Democrats. It was just less than 3 months ago that they shut the government down for the longest period in history, 43 days. It was painful for so many Americans. Finally, a handful of them saw the light and helped us get the government operating again. Republicans have demonstrated over and over that we are the grown-ups in the room. We are the ones that are governing. We are the ones that are funding the government. We are the ones that are providing the vital services and trying to make government work more efficiently and effectively for everyone. After that long historic shutdown that was so painful, appropriators in both parties got together. We got 12 separate appropriations bills passed through the House, and we had a triumphant press conference announcing that. We expected it to be on a glide path through the Senate. But, of course, the Democrats could not miss an opportunity to try to shut the government down again. That's what they're doing. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats play games with government funding.
Now, today's deal has the backing of President Donald Trump, and it was passed by the Senate last week with a wide bipartisan margin. But House Republicans, as Johnson said, had actually already passed appropriations bills to fund the government last month. However, Democrats upended that plan and shut down the government with demands for ICE reforms. Democrats have called for an end to roving ICE patrols, removing face coverings, and implementing body cameras, among other things. Those reforms will certainly be front and center now in the negotiations, but one of them is already underway. The Department of Homeland Security announced that Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers will now begin wearing body cameras. That announcement comes amid ongoing protests and controversy surrounding ICE agents and their mass deportation efforts and tactics in Minneapolis. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said her agency is giving body cameras to all federal officers in the city. Noem said online, quote, effective immediately, we're deploying body cameras to every officer in the field in Minneapolis. We will rapidly acquire and deploy body cameras to DHS law enforcement across the country. She went on to add that the program would expand that nationwide when more funding is available. Now, in a related development, the Pentagon's Northern Command reversed its orders to 1,500 active duty soldiers that were told to be ready to deploy to Minneapolis. This change may be the result of Tom Homan, the Trump administration's border czar, who has taken over the ICE work in Minneapolis. So far, he's got a lot more cooperation from local officials in exchange for offering to reduce the number of ICE agents in the city, which at its high point hit 3,000 agents. But whether things will actually cool down in Minneapolis remains to be seen. And that is today's news. I'm Casey Harper. You can dive deeper at The Washington Stand, which is Family Research Council's outlet for news and commentary from a biblical worldview. You can also check out the Outstanding podcast online. But as for us, we're back tomorrow with more stories that matter.